Newsflash! Elon Musk has just landed on Mars.
Wait, that's not Mars? No, that's a mining apocalypse, once known as Elephant Reef. The final chapter. You probably know by now that I found a lot of gold at a place that I called Elephant Reef. If you need to catch up, please see the previous 2 videos in my YouTube library that describe this incredible find. It took many months to get the necessary approvals and permits from the mines department in order to perform this earth-moving project. So once I had jumped through all of those hoops, I was keen to put my plan into action. I called my mate to book in his trusty D7 Dozer for a week or 2, and I started filming on the 3rd day. He pushed long, straight lines, making piles in the center of the patch. If I hit some deep nuggets, then he shifts the windrow over and cuts underneath so all ground is detected. It's a slow, arduous process, dusty and noisy too. I got a few deep bits, nothing over ½ ounce, which encouraged me to think that maybe there was a deep channel, an ancient riverbed that deposited gold deeper, somewhere. So I kept cutting away. The ground was deep. Sometimes when pushing a patch it looks deep but turns out to be what we call bony. In that case, when there is no deep ground, all hopes of big slugs at depth are dashed. Here, at Elephant Reef, the dirt was loamy and fluffy. Perfect to jag a monster slug down about 3 feet. So as I kept pushing, I kept saying to myself, any day now. Right. So the top half of the patch was pushed, and I had won just a couple of small slugs, little chunky pieces that weighed about 6 or 7 grams, basically enough to pay expenses. It was now time to push the bottom half where I knew gold had traveled down the modern-day creek. Here's the view of the top half of the patch at this stage. So the short of the long story, I pushed the bottom half. I now had a massive pile of dirt in the center of my patch. Wow, what a big mess. It looked like a mining Armageddon. After all this dozing, it was time to tally up my booty. I had...
Only 40 grams of gold!
Say what? If you've been following my stories, you may recall that I once said, the old saying is that a prospector puts his find back into the ground. Oh no! I was becoming that guy. Okay, well, I'd have to do a lot of losing to do all of my dough, right? I mean, I did all right out of this amazing virgin patch of gold. But it was depressing to think of how much work it would take my dozer to push it all back flat, to rehabilitate this mess and make it look like a national park. Yet once again, the gold god shone upon me. Right about this time, the local government was upgrading a road nearby. They were taking calcrete from a big open-cut pit on my 12,000-acre lease. You know, I can't get out of my truck to prospect without untangling the myriad of red, green, and black tapes. How could the local government just dig a massive pit without telling me, the leaseholder? Well, I was to find out that the local government is in a world of its own. Legislation lets it do whatever it sees fit. Yeah, okay, I get that. Like, the health department is very powerful too and can shut down the whole country. But what happens to me when the mines department rings up, wanting to know what this massive crater is on my lease? P.S. They use satellite imagery to keep tabs on the ground and will query any new disturbance they see. Whilst investigating, I came across something that got me very excited. A newish model. D8 bulldozer. So, after a bit of wrangling, I got use of this machine for a couple of hours. A couple of hours, I hear you say. Well, this monster turns up at Elephant Reef, and a young Irish kid jumps out. He asks, "What do you need?" And I say, "Push it flat, please." He looks at me sideways, shrugs, and said, "Okay, mate." He starts in the middle, tackling that huge pile. Then he pushes out the guts. Is this not what most little kids dream of? Playing with a big toy? The fans on these machines, the ones that keep the dust out of the air cleaners, must be very powerful. It didn't take this bad boy long to push it flat. I had the most enjoyable couple of hours sitting in my truck, sipping coffee and watching it happen. I gave the bulldozer operator a lovely nugget, an 8-grammer, as a bonus. He was stoked. He said he'd give it to his missus, and they would get it made into a pendant. I had both bulldozers try to push out the hole that I had dug, which was, of course, Elephant Reef. I thought the Cat D8 would easily rip through the bedrock. However, because the regolith was chlorite schist, the machine had trouble gaining traction due to its rock's slipperiness. What was pushed out, I ran my metal detector around and I got no signals with the detector. This project was officially history. See the photos and look for the margins of the red, the granite, and green, the schist. And imagine a heavily gold mineralized quartz reef being injected into the margin or fault between the two rock units. Presto! That's the Elephant Reef. Okay, so dozing Elephant Patch was a flop. Never mind, I can scratch it off my list and not lay awake at night wondering what might be laying on the bottom of that deep ground. My disturbance did look like a national park when I finished. In fact, I went back a few years later and lovely vegetation had regrown. The kangaroos were grazing on the juicy weeds, having a good scratch. That wasn't the actual dozing, I just wanted to show you some cute kangaroos. As of today, 8 years have passed and the disturbance looks fantastic. The weeds, shrubs, and trees have regenerated nicely with the many rains. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed my tale of Elephant Reef. It was quite a journey, huh? I do wish that I would have filmed some of those big slugs getting dug next time. Many thanks for watching my new and improved rendition of the discovery of Elephant Reef. It was a major find that deserves a proper presentation. If you appreciate my efforts, please subscribe. Just click the small prospector in the bottom right-hand corner. Like and comment so that YouTube knows you are enjoying my content. Cheerio.